All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Pretty good.
And yes, that was me crying on camera due to the hot sauces, doing the Hot Ones Hot Wings challenge. For those of you who aren't familiar with Hot Ones, it's basically a show put on by the First We Feast YouTube channel by Sean Evans himself, and he basically interviews, all kinds of celebrities, famous actors, athletes, really anything, artists, and basically they have 10 wings. Each wing has a sauce on it. Each wing gets spicier and spicier as they go on. There's 10 wings and there's 10 questions. Sean Evans asks the celebrities one question after every wing. It's a really good show. Check it out on YouTube if you haven't seen it. It can be really entertaining. And last week I did this with my friend Weenie Trades Live, and let me tell you, it was quite the experience. Honestly, going in, I thought I was gonna really die, and I still died, but it was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I consider myself to be somebody who can handle spice pretty well. I would say definitely well above the average. But I knew that going into Hot Ones, it was going to be a challenge, a tough hill to climb. Weenie Trends, on the other hand, he is one of the craziest spicy people I've ever met. He does like hot sauce challenges all the time. So this was honestly not even that bad for him. You can see in the clip there, he's barely reacting, and I'm dying. I mean, by wing number 10, my mouth was already on fire, and the aftermath of wing number 10 was it was completely brutal. But today I'm going to be taking a look at these sauces, and I'm going to be ranking them based on how much did I like the taste. Sure, some of them were unbearably hot, but outside of that, was the flavor still good? So that's what I'm going to be looking at. And starting us off, we have the classic Hot Ones Garlic Fresno edition. So this is number 1 on the list. It's, the least spicy one. And, for a good reason, honestly. It's not really spicy. It's called a hot sauce, but I would say it's really more of a mild sauce, honestly. But it is pretty good. Honestly, like, the flavor, it was good. I'm somebody who really likes garlic-flavored things, and you can definitely taste the garlic in this sauce. So I just think it's a really good one. It's one that I've, used several times since the video. It's a pretty good one if you like something that's kind of mild, but you want at least like a little bit of kick in your sauce. And honestly, I would put this one in a very solid A tier. Not very spicy, but flavor-wise, I think it was pretty solid. Up next, we have the Yellowbird Foods Bliss and Vinegar. Honestly, this one was okay. I would say in terms of spiciness, I didn't really notice a change from number 1 to number 2. Kind of, at this point, it's still really not registering as spicy for me. I can tell that it's supposed to be spicy, but my taste buds aren't heating up at this point. But I thought it was decent. If you like very vinegary sauces, I would say this one is probably for you. You can definitely taste that vinegar in the sauce. It had a very unique flavor, but for me, when I'm looking for a hot sauce, I'm looking for something that's gonna go good with, like, chicken. But I felt like the flavor of this one didn't really mix well with the chicken. It was still good, but again, not my favorite. A little bit too vinegary, like I said, and it's gonna find itself in the C tier. Up next, we have the Hoff and Pepper Hoff's House Sauce. This one, it was kind of interesting because it kind of ramped up a little bit on this one. We had 2 very mild ones, and then this one you could kind of feel the kick. I still wouldn't say it was spicy yet. I mean, we're still looking at maybe like a mild or a medium at Buffalo Wild Wings here, so really not that spicy. But I thought the flavor wasn't super great. It was a rather peppery sauce, and so if you like sauces that have like the taste of like ground pepper, you'll probably like this one. But flavor-wise, honestly, this was probably my least favorite one on the list. So it's gonna find itself down in the D tier. Again, my least favorite, not quite an F tier, not horrible, but again, not great. Up next, we have the Los Calientes Verde. This is another Hot Ones official sauce, and honestly, this one is probably my favorite one on the list. I've always really liked like green hot sauces or like salsa verde, things like that. And this one is really no different. We're kind of getting into a little bit of the spicier territory. This one definitely, I could tell it had some kick. It was a good amount of spice for me, and the flavor was really good. This is another one I've used a lot when I've been eating rice and chicken recently. And it's just a really solid sauce. It's got a good amount of spice, good flavor. I really liked it. Made my taste buds tingle just a little bit, but not really too hot to make my nose water or anything. So yeah, Los Calientes Verde gonna find itself up in a solid S tier. Up next, we have the Hot Heads Official Revolutionary. So not Hot Ones, not to be confused with Hot Ones. Hot Heads Official Revolutionary. This one, I'll be honest, this was the first one where I was really starting to feel it. I think after this one was when I took my first drink of milk. It really jumped up here. You know, the first two, not spicy at all. The third one, can kind of feel it. Number 4, okay, my taste buds are tingling. This one, they were really tingling. It wasn't like I wasn't, you know, struggling or anything, but it was hot. Honestly, it was a hot sauce. This is something that I wouldn't want to use too much of because honestly, it can easily overwhelm me at least with spiciness. So it was definitely hot, but flavor-wise, I thought it was pretty solid. Not my favorite one on the list, but hot and I would say pretty good, and it'll find itself up in a B tier. Up next, we have number 6, the Senor lachuga. This was the first one on the list that was made with ghost pepper. So I was thinking, okay, ghost pepper, you know, back in the day, that was the hottest pepper in the world. Surely this is gonna get really spicy. I figured number 5 was really hot. This one is gonna be even spicier. Man, I'm not sure if there was a mix-up at the factory or not, but this was one of the least spicy sauces on the list. I would probably put this one between number 2 and number 3 in terms of spiciness. Like, I mean, we shook it up a lot, but I'm not sure if we needed to just shake it more or something. But yeah, honestly, this ghost pepper sauce, really not that spicy. But I will say the flavor was really good. It was a really good sauce. I just wish that it was honestly more spicy, because if I'm going to use a hot sauce, I like there to be at least a little bit of kick. And honestly, there was really a very small amount of kick on this ghost pepper sauce. I would have put this one in the S tier if it was spicier, because I thought the flavor was really, really good. But the spiciness just was not there for me. So unfortunately, gonna find itself down in the A tier. I mean, I say down in the A tier. It's still a great sauce, but I was just expecting a little more kick from a ghost pepper sauce. Up next, we have number 7, Chile lengua de fuego. Honestly, another you know, hot sauce verde, I guess, green hot sauce. This one was another one that was pretty good. I thought I was gonna like it more looking at it. I was like, ooh, I like the way it looks. It was still good, don't get me wrong, but we were getting pretty hot here, so my taste buds were kind of on fire at this point, even still from number 5. And so I wasn't able to taste things quite as well as I would have normally, so maybe I'd like it more if I tried this one again. I haven't tried it since then, but it was pretty good, and we're definitely getting hot here. Again, it wasn't overwhelming me. Still doing pretty good. Only had to jump into the milk, you know, a couple times at this point. But yeah, the Chile lengua de fuego, hot, you know, good, not great. For me, it's gonna find itself in a decent B tier. Up next, we have Da Bomb Evolution. Now, oftentimes on the show, they've had Da Bomb Beyond Insanity. I'm not sure if there's any difference between Da Bomb Beyond Insanity or Da Bomb Evolution. I tried this one. This is the one that I always see people just get destroyed by on the Hot Ones show. If you guys have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Da Bomb always blows people up. And honestly, I was a little nervous jumping into this one. I'm like, all right, my mouth's already on fire. What is this gonna taste like? And I tried it, and yeah, it was hot. Honestly, it wasn't, you know, destroying me quite like I saw it destroy people on the Hot Ones show, but it was really hot. And flavor-wise, at this point, it was hard to taste. I struggled to even remember what it tasted like. I know it kind of tasted like there was like a chipotle flavor in there, which I kind of liked, but it was hard to really grasp what I was tasting because my mouth was kind of on fire at this point. But I will say it was still pretty good. You know, even beyond the burning sensation in my mouth, I thought the flavor was decent. A lot of people say it tastes like battery acid or just tastes terrible on the Hot Ones show. I thought it was okay, you know, not my favorite, not really a sauce I would use, not just because it's so hot, but because the flavor, you know, it wasn't the best, but it wasn't bad, and it will find itself in a rather respectable C tier. Up next, we have Hellfire Cranked. This one, I believe, is made with the Carolina Reaper pepper, and honestly, you know, a lot of people on Hot Ones think Da Bomb, which is usually number 8 on the list, is spicier than number 9 on the list. And I tend to agree. I think that number 9, Hellfire Cranked, it was one of those sauces that it didn't hit me immediately. You know, it took a couple seconds for it to really kick in. And when it kicked in, it was spicy. But I will say, Da Bomb, you know, as soon as you put that in your mouth, boom, it's spicy. and it doesn't stop until, well, at least until the next wing, hopefully. But yeah, Hellfire cranked, definitely spicy. I wouldn't say I was dying quite as much as Da Bomb, but a hot wing, nonetheless, a hot sauce. Flavor-wise, though, I was really not a fan of Hellfire cranked. I would say probably my second least favorite sauce on the list. Again, I would use it maybe very sparingly, but definitely going to find itself down in the D tier along the other one. Last, but certainly not least, is the Hot Ones, the Last Dab Apollo. Holy moly, guys. You guys saw the clip at the beginning. I'm going to play another clip right here.
Oh my gosh, I'm like breathing fire right now. I just gotta put this one out.
It's pretty good. I want some more. That one I'm gonna put on my broccoli.
It's gonna take a while for that
Oh.
to cool off.
Can you guys see it from here?
Yes.
The tears are coming.
Well, Drew, while the tears are coming, we should say.
And yeah, I'm not sure how much more I need to say, but I put a lot of sauce on this one. I put more sauce on this one than any of the previous wings, because, you know, I figured it's the last one. I gotta do it justice. And man, it was brutal. My mouth was just like on fire. Like I was like breathing out air, and I just felt like I was breathing fire. And the worst part was, anytime I tried to talk, it just made it worse. I mean, I kid you not. I could literally feel like a pulse in the roof of my mouth, like with my heartbeat, because it was just like so hot. So yeah, this sauce is no joke. You know, some people on Hot Ones say that Da Bomb is hotter than this one. I think this one was definitely hotter, maybe because I used so much more sauce, but even still, it is a very, very hot sauce. But getting into the flavor, honestly, it's decent. It's not my favorite flavor. The flavor here is just kind of spiciness. Like when you take that first bite, it doesn't immediately kick in. I'd say it takes probably 2 or 3 seconds to really kick in. But you know, before it kicks in and you're just kind of tasting the sauce, even then the flavor wasn't the best. Like it's weird because even before your taste buds get lit on fire by the sauce, the flavor of it is like spicy. Like it doesn't hurt yet, but the flavor, it tastes like, you know, you would imagine something tastes like spiciness tastes like. So it was kind of a weird experience eating this sauce, but yeah, the Last Dab Apollo, definitely no joke, definitely spicy. The aftermath, let me tell you guys, was not pretty, but it was worth it. It was a great experience. Flavor wise, Last Dab Apollo gonna find itself in a B tier. Not bad, not great. I would say kind of a low B tier for this one. Anyways, that is my list, guys. Let me know if you've done this challenge before and what your experience was, and I hope to see you next time.